Lisa left her room to say goodbye to her mother and found Sehun and Mrs. O having breakfast. Just as she was about to leave the house, Mrs. O called out, "Wait, Lisa, Sehun is going with you." Mrs. O likes Lisa. Sehun then spat out his juice in a funny way. Mrs. O sharply asked, "Sehun, what's wrong?" He replied, "Nothing, nothing." In the car, Sehun told Lisa, "Don't tell anyone you're poor." She asked, "What should I say then?" He answered, "Just say you're my cousin." Lisa muttered, "What arrogance." Sehun responded, "What did you say? I didn't hear you well." She replied, "Nothing." When they arrived at school, Lisa spotted her friends waiting for them and ran to them. Susie saw Lisa getting out of Sehun's car and thought to herself, "Isn't that the girl from the club? What was she doing with Sehun?" Lisa said, "Hi, I'm Lisa, I hope you take care of me." Susie replied mischievously, "We'll take good care of you." Sunny then said, "Sit with Jisoo." After a while, Chaniol entered with Kai and Suho. When Chaniol spotted Rosie and the girls, he exclaimed loudly, "Oh, Kai, aren't those the girls from yesterday?" Kai eagerly asked, "Where? Where?" Chaniol pointed at them. Soho and Kai said together, "We're going to have so much fun." During lunch, Susie started causing trouble by putting her foot out to trip Lisa while she was getting her food. Lisa fell to the ground and angrily said, "Are you blind?" Susie pushed her back and replied, "Watch your words." Lisa slapped Susie, prompting Sehun to run over, saying, "Lisa, have you gone crazy?" She responded, "But she started it." The principal arrived and said, "On your first day, you're already causing trouble." Susie pretended to cry, saying, "Sir, she slapped me." The principal replied, "One more problem and you'll be expelled." Lisa's friends arrived late to see what was happening. Lisa left the cafeteria heading to the bathroom with the girls, while Susie was in Sehun's lap smiling wickedly. She said to Crystal, Aaron, and Yuna, "I'm good at acting, aren't I?" Crystal asked, "But why did you do that?" Susie replied, "I saw her getting out of the car with Sehun." Aaron said, "Remember last night, we'll make her and her friends regret it." While Lisa was crying, she said, "I knew this school was bad, why did I come here?" Rosie replied, "It's okay, Lisa, everything will be fine." She then told them about what happened with Sehun in the car that morning. The bell rang for everyone to return to class, and when Rosie entered, a bucket full of ketchup fell on her, making everyone laugh except Chaniol, who rushed over to her, concerned, "Are you okay?" Rosie answered, tears in her eyes, "Thanks, I'm fine." Rosie left, followed by Chaniol, while Yuna was fuming with anger. As for Lisa and Jisoo, they cleaned up the mess while Jenny helped Rosie change her clothes. Meanwhile, Chaniol wondered why he had rushed to her. The school day ended, and everyone headed home. Mrs. John asked, "Lisa, how was your day?" Lisa replied pretentiously, "Oh, it was good, Mom, just some introductory classes." "Do you need help with anything?" Mrs. John said, "No, dear, go get some sleep, I'll let you know if I need anything." Lisa answered, "Dia, Mom," and went off. Meanwhile, Susie, Aaron, Yuna, and Crystal were planning for the next day. Lisa woke up feeling broken because of what was happening to her at school. She went through her daily routine and got dressed to go out and meet Jeannie on her way. Lisa forced a smile and said, "Good morning, Jeannie." Jeannie replied, "Good morning, Lisa. How are you?" Lisa answered, "I'm fine." When they arrived at school, they met Kai and Suho. Kai smiled and said, "Good morning, girls." Jeannie thought, "What a charming guy." Lisa replied, "Good morning." Jeannie said, "Do you know him to greet him? What if he's a creep?" Kai asked in surprise, "Who are you talking about?" Soho laughed and said, "Looks like you found someone who isn't fooled by your innocent acts." Kai chuckled, "Shut up, I want to be your friend if that's okay." Jeannie answered, "Yes, there's a problem." Lisa asked, "Jeannie, what's wrong with you today?" "Kai, it's fine." Then Chaniol came in and said, "Good morning, what's going on?" Lisa replied, "Jeannie, Kai, Suho, and I want to be friends." Chaniol said, "I want to join too. By the way, how is Rosie?" Lisa responded, "We didn't talk to her yesterday, sorry." Soho laughed and said, I smell a lover here. Chanyeol ignored Suho and said, let's go to class. They entered the classroom together, which made Crystal jealous, prompting her to go tell Suzy what happened. Suzy replied, how dare those idiots. Yuna said, the important thing is, everything is ready. Aaron added mischievously, we're just waiting for school to end, you'll have a night worse than hell. They returned to the classroom to find Jisoo and Rosie had arrived, while Sihoon was sleeping at the table. Lisa approached him and said, how are you? Sihoon replied, I'm fine, and you? Suzy said, only my cheek is swollen from yesterday's slap. Sihoon romantically replied, don't worry, I'll make her regret it. Suzy pretended, don't do anything, it's just a misunderstanding. Lisa heard them and muttered, someone deserves an Oscar for acting. Lisa introduced Kai, Suho, and Chanyeol to Jisoo and Rosie, and it was undeniable that Chanyeol and Rosie were quickly attracted to each other, unlike Jeannie and Kai, who were always arguing. Meanwhile, Jisoo and Soho had a normal friendship. Teacher Sunmi entered and said, quiet down, students. Today we've prepared a seating plan for the class. The students responded with boredom, Dia. The teacher started assigning seats until she reached Chanyeol and Rosie, Jisoo and Soho, Jeannie and Lisa, and finally Sihoon and Kai. Then the gym class began, where they wore their designated clothes and started warming up. The class ended, and sometimes Kai and Soho forgot they had girlfriends. Lunchtime came, and everyone exchanged phone numbers. While Suzy and her friends were with Sihoon, they tasked other girls with planning something. When it was time to leave, Lisa felt grateful that her day had gone well. Soho said, what do you think about going to the amusement park today? Everyone excitedly replied, yay. Except for Sihoon, who said, I'm not going. Chanyeol said, you're ruining the moment. Soho replied, you'll go whether you like it or not. Lisa asked, where should we meet? Kai said, how about at the cafe? We can grab something and then go. Everyone replied, agreed. The girls and boys parted at the door. Rosie said, girls, I want to tell you something. But she didn't finish her sentence because they were kidnapped. They were taken to a small cabin about 2.5 kilometers from the school and were sedated so they wouldn't know the way. Jisoo woke up first and said, Lisa, is that your hair? Rosie replied, where are we? Lisa said, Henny, are you awake? Then a girl covered in a veil entered and said, welcome, beauties. She ordered a group of chubby girls to beat them, then went out and asked them to throw insects and snakes at them. Meanwhile, the boys were worried about the girls. Kai said, I'll call Lisa. Sihoon asked, what's going on? Kai replied, her phone is off, I'll call again. Chanyeol said, something must have happened to them. Jeannie was looking for a spot with coverage to call Kai. When Kai saw her calling, he said, it's Jeannie. Then Jeannie responded with difficulty due to the beating, Kai, we're kidnapped, and the call was cut off. Lisa said, I'm sorry, girls, it's all my fault, but what did I do to deserve this? Let me know if you need anything else.